talk a lot about the Overton window. Do you think there's a limit to it? To how much it shifts?
We saw what happened in Iran. Come on, Michael.
If you,
well, I went backwards.
Yeah, it went the other way.
That's what I'm saying.
That was by force, so that doesn't really count.
So I was saying, I had this statement because Iran in 1979 is a great.
That doesn't
example.
really count.
There are two examples that I can think of, which would be Afghanistan recently and Iran in 79.
I wouldn't even count those. That's by force. They're forcing people.
Yeah, but that is still the Overton window. Like
still going back.
The people in those countries don't believe that, though. It's just the people on top.
Sure.
So it's not really the society's not changing.
Then maybe
we're talking about the society changing.
Then maybe you're even more making my point. The
yeah,
point
that's
is,
what I'm trying to say. My question is there a limit to it?
As technology advances, that's what causes the Overton window to move to the left.
Oh, I agree with you. I know the Overton window is moving to the left.
Yeah.
The question is there going to be a limit to where it's like, we'll just walk outside naked, we'll just do drugs and everything no matter what?
I think in certain places that may happen, yeah. I mean, it was so crazy how when gay marriage was first proposed, but by the way, I don't have any problem with gay marriage.
Yeah,
but there were some people who were like, well, people are going to
life.
start marrying animals, and then next thing you know, people are going to start marrying children. It's like, that's ridiculous. That is so ridiculous that these Republicans think that. Sure enough, that is exactly what happened. And so that is exactly what happened. So the thing is, as far as the Overton window, there's certain things where I'm personally going to stop. Like, if you want to come near my daughter, I'm going to I don't have a daughter, by the way. If you want to come near my daughter, you want to touch my daughter because you believe that older men and 12-year-olds should be able to have relationships, I'm still going to shoot you. It doesn't make any difference where the Overton window is. I'm still going to fucking shoot you. Okay. I'm still not going to take the Lord's name in vain in front of a pastor or my mom. There's certain things. I don't care what the Overton window states.
No, I understand. I'm just wondering how much you think it will shift. You think in 20 years we'll see fentanyl in Walmart?
Yes. I do think you'll see something it'll be under prescription. Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I do think so.
I agree. I wanted to ask you
because Mexicans are now starting to ship fentanyl into the States. I do. I could see that. I could see it. I'm not saying 100%, but I could see it.
I agree. I mean, it's hard to predict.
The thoughts on the border situation, though, man. What do you think is something that is a direct solution to it if you disagree or you see all these things like that?
I'm just going to first say that I think one of the biggest flaws with the human mind is that they always think there's a solution. Sometimes there's no solution. It's really hard to just accept it as a human because you're just there has to be a solution. Now,
build the wall.
Let's pretend there's a solution.
What if this is the solution? You have one country that's extremely poor and one country that's extremely wealthy, and the people from the poor country are trying to get into the wealthy country, and some of them get in and some of them don't.
I think it's a good thing.
What if that is the ultimate compromise?
Here's my solution. There's a lot of people in this country who think America is a horrible racist place and a capitalistic hellscape. That's what they believe.
Sure.
So I suggest if I were to get into Congress a bill, we'll do an exchange liberal program. So anyone who doesn't like it, we'll get you a one-way ticket to Cuba, Venezuela, North Korea. And people who are trying to come from the southern border, we ask them questions. Do you believe in God? I'm a Catholic, I'm Mexican. Okay, cool. Do you like communism? No. All right, cool. You like capitalism? Yes. All right, we'll do a swap. And that's it.
I love this idea, but
that's the only solution I can think of.
We kind of did that. I do think kind of the
Kick
solution.
Out liberals?
No. What was the Haven cities? What are they called?
Sanctuary cities.
Sanctuary cities.
Sanctuary cities.
Yeah.
I love this idea for everyone, and here's the reason why: because everyone gets to practice what they preach. Right? Greg Abbott gets to have illegal immigrants not in his state. Okay. And these other places that believe that progressivism and liberalism is the way to go will now take on these people. And you know what? Some of them are going to be incredibly productive members of society. There are so many hardworking people of Mexican descent that come into this country and are absolutely hardworking people. And the overall belief that all of them are parts of MI-12 or MI-13 is ridiculous. The thing what I'm trying to say is now everyone gets to back up their word. These liberal cities who wanted to be sanctuary cities, now you have to take this. Now let's see how this works for you. Now when your entire financial base decides to leave the city, which is what's going to happen in Chicago, because the liberals have ruined that place, and the same thing is going to happen in San Francisco at some point. When these things start happening, and unfortunately you guys start taking over Nashville, Austin, and Las Vegas, because we don't need you here. Please don't move here. I'm sorry, I forget I'm in Dallas.
It's horrible in Texas, guys. Don't come here.
Yeah, please don't move over to Texas. Stay in San Francisco. We don't need you here.
It's horrible.
I think when that one of the things I love about the sanctuary city side is both sides get what they want, and it's so great because if those cities turn into hellscapes and incredibly high crime rates, then we proved a point.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because I do think Colorado.
There's only one problem with that theory.
What?
Once they screw up San Francisco, they come to Dallas anyway.
Yeah.
This is the problem.
They're going to end up moving somewhere else after they destroy it.
Yeah, they just fuck it up. They'll just come here anyway.
Cancer.
They're not going back to Mexico.
I just finished the book, The Accommodation by Jim Shoots. And one of the things they talk about is this is pretty much a recession-proof city. Like throughout history, whenever the rest of the country went through a depression, we had the most fertile black, black soil to grow cotton.
That's very true.
On the entire
Especially
planet,
in East Texas.
on the entire planet Earth, this is the greatest place in the world to grow cotton. And because of that, Texas, for the last 200 years, or Dallas, North Texas specifically, has been like recession-proof. It has always been recession-proof. And so
I didn't know it was because of the soil, though.
People would move here. Well, now it's not because of the soil. Now it's because here's the thing. Remember how Russia wouldn't pivot away from petroleum? Dallas would. Texas would. Texas Instruments, Bell Helicopters.
Yeah.
The city of Dallas pivoted into petroleum and sort of pivoted out of petroleum and entertainment and sports and all these other things to make themselves a metropolitan city with a real man. You remember that Perot Museum? It's like finally somebody dinosaurs. We were told there were no fucking things as dinosaurs for the longest time. They showed a dinosaur. Do you guys go to the Perot Museum right now? There's this big sign that says some people believe in creation, some people believe in evolution. It was so funny because you don't see that when you go to the Guggen or the Metropolitan Museum in New York. You don't see that there. There's just one of these really interesting things, but. This city being recession-proof is the reason why so many people want to move here. And Austin, too. Austin is kind of the same thing.
Going back to what you're saying on a serious note, though, a lot of people who come here are hardworking, like you guys both said. So we do need to make a decision about how to keep them. I think that's one of the issues Republicans are messing up on is that, we don't want people to come here illegally, but the ones that are here, we need to deal with them. And I kind of joke about like doing swap the liberal or whatever, but I think we do need to.
But isn't that's the thing? Sanctuary City, I think that is kind of swap the liberal. You know what I'm saying?
In a way. The issue is I think we need to just stop the whole asylum process. Because right now the issue is you can just come here, declare asylum, and then get a court date that years down the line. And then we're giving people asylum based on reasons that they just live in a bad country. That's not a reason for asylum. Asylum has to be based on like you're being religiously persecuted, you're part of organized. Something has happened.
I had family members who were persecuted by the Cali cartel. No, I'm sorry, the Medellin cartel, and they declared asylum, came here in the 1970s. Or 1980s, yeah.
Well, no, it's definitely like my thing is that when they come, you can do stuff like how DACA's set up, where like if somebody's here, it's just like we're sending you back if you fuck up in any way, shape, or form. Don't fuck up.
I don't mind
you want
that.
to come here, then just be a good citizen. You can't go to jail. You can't, don't do any of these things. I don't know what exactly it is on DACA, but I know like there's certain guidelines and they break any of those rules, you're out. I've known people that have got kicked out of here, and I know people who are good people that are here and they follow DACA and they're good working citizens. Like you have to have a job to be on DACA too. Like, so it's very simple to me. It's just like put them all on these programs and then make them, if they want to do the citizen thing, like they can do the whole process to become a citizen over years, where you memorize the
I'm not in favor of kicking out DACA kids. It doesn't make sense. A lot of them just lived here most of their life. They didn't even do anything themselves. Their parents brought them here. I think the issue is going forward is that when we let people come here with their children, we're incentivizing bad behavior. My dad's family's from Iran. They would love to come here, but they can't because they don't share a border with America. So it's a little unfair to have a system like this. It just shows to the world that, we're just not as serious as treating everyone equally.
Again, any country on the planet could be wealthy. The number one I would pick, if you were an alien and you came down here and you're like, you border the richest country on the planet, you have two massive fucking ocean borders, an incredibly a large amount of petroleum and fertile land, and you're that fucking poor. It doesn't make any sense how Mexico's that poor. It makes sense to me that Venezuela is poor. It makes sense to me that Uruguay is poor. It doesn't make any sense to me that a country that big with that much like prosperous land is that poor. And the answer is
cartel, man.
The answer is a cartel. You're right. The answer is corruption. It is exactly right.
It's crazy because we're the best country in the world apparently, but right next door to us is the most corrupt country in the world. One of them. $2 from Don Juan. Next debate: Tony Schaefer versus Mike Sartain. Who's Tony Schaefer?
I have to go look that up. I remember that name from somewhere. I forgot where Tony Schaefer is. But no, I can't. Tentatively, it's Adam Sosnick has asked me to debate. What's his name? Nick Fuentes.
Oh, okay.
In August.
$2 from Don Juan.
Good luck with that, by the way.
Mexico lacks management and private property. $5 from Don Juan. Mike, I think you're cool, but just watch logical fallacies when you debate. It seems like you like doing them, but you seem weak with fallacies. LFG.
So one of the problems with the fallacies is then you would have to like explain the fallacy. That's not a lot of evidence there.
I've been talking with him for an hour and a half. I haven't noticed any fallacies.
Yeah. What I said is the F-35. What are the things we know and what are the things we can prove? We know the Russians and the Chinese can't see F-35s. we don't know that we're going to bomb the Russian front, but so one of these things is a certainty, and the other thing is a possibility. That doesn't mean that's not a logical fallacy.
Yeah.
Hey y'all, Sergio here. I just want to mention I've created a completely free guide that shows you exactly how I went from having low confidence and being painfully awkward around women to easily meeting and dating numerous high quality desirable women in real life without the use of any dating apps or social media. So if you're struggling to get out there, if you have approach anxiety or don't know what to say or how to interact with women to make them want you and are sick of using dating apps with low value girls that hundreds of other guys have been chatting with, click the link in the description below to grab your free guide right now. And if you want private mentorship with me personally to help guide you every step of the way in this process, check out my mentorship program in the description too. I would be happy to help you reach your dating goals and overcome any obstacle you may face. And trust me, if I can do it, you can do it too. I hope to see you soon. Peace out.